Oh, baby, we are back. Welcome in, guys. RotoBros Live, Week 1, Start, Sit, Sunday. That's right, Week 1, 2021 is finally upon us. We're here. We've done it. In a matter of 2 hours, kickoff begins, and the 2021 fantasy season starts up. So I know everybody's excited. We're back. We're rebranded, RotoBros Live. We're going to get you guys some championships. We're going to win you guys some money this year. I hope you're looking forward to it just as much as I am. And the first question of the season comes from Matthew Bright. Let's get started. Courtland Sutton or Kareem Hunt in PPR? I'm going to go with Kareem Hunt, actually. I like this game to be very competitive. I think it could be very high scoring. Obviously, the Chiefs shouldn't have an issue scoring. And I think the Browns may have to throw a little bit more. So I think, obviously, that's going to be a good thing for Kareem Hunt. So I'll take Kareem Hunt over Courtland Sutton. Gaskin or Kareem Hunt? I'll take Kareem Hunt over Myles Gaskin. Look, everybody, welcome back. I love it. Thank you guys so much. It's great. It's great. The 7th year in a row we've been doing the Start Sit Sunday show. So thank you guys for coming along the ride. I know a lot of you have been with me over the years as we've done this show, and we're only getting bigger, only getting better. So thank you guys for jumping on the train and being on this ride with me. It's been great. All right, Ashton Martin says, Tyson Williams or Robert Woods? It's Tyson Williams for me, man. Like, I'm all over Tyson this week. He is going to have a huge workload on tomorrow night against the Las Vegas Raiders. Tyson Williams, to me, is going to be one of the best running back plays of the entire week. The entire Week 1 slate, I think Tyson Williams is going to be a great pick. Latavius Murray doesn't have his legs under him yet. Le'Veon Bell hasn't learned the system yet. Devontae Freeman, we know that's not an issue. And Trenton Cannon, we know, is not an issue as well. So Tyson Williams is going to get a full workload. He's going to be the bell cow tomorrow night. He's going to be the guy that I would be all over. Andrew Cooper, good morning, Chris. Good morning, Andrew. Swift or Tyson Williams? You guys know my love for DeAndre Swift. You know my love for DeAndre Swift. But I don't like the matchup. Tyson Williams is facing, tomorrow night, Tyson Williams is going up against one of the weakest run defense, what's expected to be one of the weakest run defenses in the league. It's Tyson Williams for me, even over DeAndre Swift. Start Saquon Barkley or Miles Sanders in a standard scoring league. I'm going to be honest with you, just to kind of go ahead and get this out of the way. Saquon Barkley scares me this week. I am a little worried about Saquon Barkley. I am benching him for guys that are getting a full workload, that are not going to have their touches limited. Shefty and Ian Rappaport reported today that he is likely to see a limited amount of work because not only is it his first game back from the ACL tear, not only are they going against not only does he have a bad matchup with the Denver Broncos defense, but they're also playing on a short week because they play again on Thursday Night Football this week. So I'm not crazy about Barkley this week. I am going to be benching him for several other options. Miles Sanders would be one of them playing against the Falcons. So I'm going Miles Sanders there. Bradley Noah, Kenny Galladay, Henry Ruggs, or Brandon Cooks. Typically, the answer to this question is going to be Kenny Galladay. But again, I don't like the matchup. I don't like this matchup. I'm going with Brandon Cooks. I love his matchup. I love the volume that he's likely to get. Go ahead and give me Brandon Cooks. I think that's going to be a competitive game as well. Devontae Smith or Marquise Brown. Look, I think you could drop Marquise Brown. He's not going to be a guy that is going to be a consistent producer of fantasy points in season-long managed leagues. He's just not. You're going to get frustrated with him. You're going to wonder when the 4-catch, 102-yard, 87-yard touchdown game is going to happen. Do that in DFS. Play him in a deep GPP DFS tournament. Don't play him in managed season long. You don't even need to own the guy. He doesn't have any fantasy value that you need to worry about. Devontae Smith, on the other hand, has a juicy matchup. I think he's the number one receiver for a team that's going to be throwing a hell of a lot this year. And I think he's going to be, I've been saying it all summer long, I think he's going to be a league winner by season's end. So Devontae Smith by a mile over Marquise Brown. Swift or Barkley, says Ryan Pearden. Swift or Barkley? I'm going to go with DeAndre Swift there. I am. I'm going to go with DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift's not expected to be limited at all. He's expected to get his full workload, as is Austin Eckler, by the way. So DeAndre Swift, to me, is going to be a guy that I think I would start over Saquon Barkley as well. Odell Beckham, Corey Davis, especially since Odell is game time. The Browns are going to be letting Odell decide if he's going to play and how much he's going to play this week. I'm going to be honest with you, man. I think this week, I think I'm going to go Corey Davis. And you're not going to hear me say that. That'll be the only time this week that I say go Corey Davis over Odell Beckham. It's just the unknown. Is he going to be limited first game back in a while? I'm going to go with Corey Davis and kind of play it a little bit safer in week 1. Let's go down here. Scrolling on down. Their questions are coming in. I'm going to try to get to as many questions as possible, guys. But again, they come in so quickly, so please bear with me. Matthew Bright says Michael Pittman or Tyson Williams in PPR. I like both this week. Now that Carson Wentz is back on the field, T.Y. Hilton is out, Michael Pittman should be a target hog. And you guys have known since last year when I did my scouting brief on him, he's an alpha, and I love this guy. So I believe that Pittman's going to have a great week 1. I think he's going to have a great season. But his week 1's not going to be better than Tyson Williams. Give me Tyson Williams. I'm all over Tyson Williams, baby. Thomas Walters, Kareem Hunt, Melvin Gordon, or Michael. I don't know who Michael is. Is it Michael Pittman? I don't know. If it's Michael Pittman, I think I'll go Michael Pittman. But if it's not, I guess I'm going to go with Kareem Hunt. I'm not touching Melvin Gordon, by the way. I'm not touching Melvin Gordon. I am all over benching Melvin Gordon. I think Javonte Williams is going to seize that starting role pretty quickly this year. Dusty Dunaway, thank you, man. Thanks for the welcome back. I appreciate it. It's great. It's great. It's like Christmas morning. It's like Christmas morning. Benching Barkley for Gaskin. I just can't see that one. No, I don't know if I'm benching Barkley for Gaskin. Like, Gaskin's supposed to get the majority of the workload, but he's going up against the Patriots defense. They spent a lot of money on that defense this year. Like, I just don't know if Gaskin's going to have a good week 1. I like Gaskin through the entire year as long as he's getting the majority of the workload. But I just don't know if I can bench him for Barkley. I think I am going to go Barkley just by a little bit there. Marquez Callaway or Jacoby Myers. I will go with Marquez Callaway. I think the ceiling is higher. I do worry about him being blanketed by these Green Bay corners, but I think that he has a higher chance. He has a higher ceiling. Marquez Callaway has a much higher ceiling and a much higher odds of getting you like a 60-yard touchdown pass, right? A 60-yard touchdown reception, right? Jameis Winston, the way he plays, they're playing, Green Bay, so they're going to have a. I just think they're going to have. This is going to be a pretty high-scoring game. I think Marquez Callaway is going to be heavily involved. I think Myers is more of he's more of a short yardage guy. Like, he may have more receptions than Marquez Callaway. I just think Marquez Callaway is going to make his receptions count a little bit more. Not only that, he doesn't have a rookie quarterback throwing the football. We all love Mac Jones, but at the end of the day, he is a rookie, so we'll see what goes on there. Tyson Williams or Deontay Johnson in flex PPR. Look, I love Deontay Johnson. He's a target hog. He's going to get some volume. But, man, going against the Bills, I think I'm going to go with Tyson Williams. Look, I told you guys, I love Tyson this year. I love him this year as well. I think he's going to be the guy in Baltimore as long as he's healthy. I think he's going to be fine. But this week, I'm all over Tyson Williams. So, going to be Tyson for me. Thomas Walters, OBJ, or Marvin Jones. I'm going to go Marvin Jones. Obviously, I like the matchup with the Texans. I think there's going to be a chance for some deep shots, so I like Marvin Jones. I like DJ Chark this week, so I'll go Marvin Jones. Typically, it is going to be OBJ, but again, it's that we don't know what the workload is going to be like. We don't know how often he's going to be on the field. So give me Marvin Jones. I'll take OBJ probably the rest of the year. Raheem Mostert or Mike Davis. I will go Mike Davis. Most of you guys know I'm a huge Trey Sermon guy. I think Trey Sermon is going to be the starter eventually, and regardless, he's going to be heavily involved all season long, as long as he's healthy. So Mike Davis is going to be the choice for me there. Thomas Walters, Lawrence or Burrow. Go ahead and give me Joe Burrow essentially every single week, to be honest with you. Connor or Sermon at flex. Thanks from Canada. That floating helmet is sick, by the way. Yeah, it is pretty cool. Definitely check that out. It's called the hover helmet. So it's not just the Falcons. They come in like college and NFL as well. But yeah, it is. It's pretty awesome. I thought it'd be a good addition to the show. So I would go with Sermon at flex. I would go with Sermon. I think we know what to really expect out of the 49ers running game. We know that Sermon's going to be heavily involved. We don't really know what's going to go on with this Arizona backfield. Maybe Connor is going to be the guy. Maybe he plays 40 snaps. Maybe it's Chase. We don't really know. So this Arizona backfield, I think, is going to be a problem all year as long as Connor's on the field. And to be honest with you, are we really certain that Chase Edmonds is even a better football player than James Conner? When James Conner is healthy, James Conner's good. Now, last year was was obviously a dip in production, but the offensive line was terrible. So, look, I don't know. I'm not convinced that Chase Edmonds is even a better football talent than James Conner. And quite honestly, I don't think he is. So, I wouldn't blame somebody for going James Conner, but I'm going to go with Trey Sermon because I think strangely enough, even with him being a rookie, I think we know more about how he's going to be used and how often he's going to be used. T. Higgins or Devontae Smith? Look, I love T. Higgins. But this week, Devontae Smith against the Falcons defense, I mean, come on, even Matt Ryan agrees you should be starting Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith, to me, is going to be a great fantasy play all year long. I'm not saying he's going to be a fantasy wide receiver 1, but it also wouldn't surprise me if he ends up as a surprise fantasy wide receiver 1, or at least a very high wide receiver 2 in fantasy, because this team's going to be throwing the ball all over the yard all year long. And their defense isn't going to be any good, I don't think, so I think they're going to be having to throw the ball a lot. Daniel, Cole Beasley, Kenny Golladay, or Marvin Jones? I'm going to go with Marvin Jones. I'll go with Marvin Jones. Typically, it would be Golladay or Beasley, but I don't like Beasley's matchup number 1 with Pittsburgh's defense. I definitely don't like Kenny Galladay's matchup. Marvin Jones, I do like his matchup. I think there will be some opportunity for some deep balls. So I would roll the dice there with Marvin Jones. Okay, so the question earlier was, it said Michael, but he meant Sony Michel. Absolutely not. Sony Michel, no. Absolutely not. Tyson or DeAndre Swift in PPR. Go ahead and give me Tyson Williams. It's Tyson Williams for me. Now, Swift, the majority of the year, I think he's going to be the guy you're going to want to start. This week, Tyson's got a great matchup. He's going to be the bell cow. I know I'm going to get a lot of Tyson questions today. Tyson Williams is going to be the answer for me. Let's see. John Carbo, which one? Pittman or Swift in a standard scoring league? I will go with Pittman over Swift just a little bit. Typically, I think it's going to be DeAndre Swift will be the answer. But I'm not wild about his matchup either. But I will go with Michael Pittman this week. By the way, guys, I want to let you know, you see this scrolling across the bottom of your screen right now. The RotoBros Fantasy Advice Lounge, the best place to get all of your trade advice, waiver advice, start-sit advice, and if you play DFS, the best place to get DFS advice. You're going to learn a lot of strategy. You're going to become a better player in both season-long, best ball, and DFS. We've got it all. We cover Dynasty, Redraft, Keeper, everything. Like I mentioned, best ball, DFS. We cover everything, even baseball and basketball. We've got it all in the RotoBros Fantasy Advice Lounge. So go to patreon.com/RotoBros. There's a $2 tier and a $5 tier, silver and gold. Choose whichever one you want. They both get you access into the lounge. The $5 tier gets you access for all of the after party shows that Mark and I do. It gets you the weekly DFS podcast that Mark and Joe do. And it also gets you in the spring, for you Dynasty heads, it gets you my NFL Draft scouting briefs as well. So definitely be sure to check all that out, guys. So, again, patreon.com/RotoBros. It'll be the best decision you make in all of fantasy. I promise you, you will not regret it. And guess what? The first 2 months are free for everybody. The first 2 months are free. That's the best part. And it's only $2 anyway, so come on. All right. Let's see. Dusty Dunaway, Cortland Sutton, Brandon Ayuk, or Jalen Reagor in flex this week. I think I'm going to go I'm going to go in that order. Cortland Sutton, Brandon Ayuk, Jalen Reagor. Cortland Sutton would be the choice for me. I think Teddy Bridgewater starting is a good thing for Cortland Sutton and for Jerry Jeudy. So Cortland Sutton is going to be the answer for me. Zach Myers, Tannehill or Hurts today. I have Julio in the lineup if that sways you any. I don't know. I mean, I want that Julio stack. I do. And they do have a favorable matchup, but my God. It's the Falcons and the Eagles. Like, the Eagles are playing the Falcons defense. I can't bench Jalen Hurts with all of that rushing upside. I can't. Flip a coin if you want, Zach, but I'm going to tell you, my gut leans Jalen Hurts. My gut leans Jalen Hurts. I know you're an Eagles fan, so you'll probably be glad to hear that. But give me Jalen Hurts today. They're both very good starts. I don't think you can go wrong. Half-point PPR, Laviska Shenault, Chase Claypool, or Devontae Smith. So you guys should know, or most of you at least, I am not an LSJ fan. I am not a fan of Laviska Shenault at all in season-long leagues. I don't think he's going to get the volume this year. I kind of like Paris Campbell. He's like he's the Paris Campbell of the Jaguars. Yeah, they're talented football players in real life, but these are two guys that are never going to give you consistent fantasy value week to week in season long. They're just not. So I am completely out on Paris Campbell, completely out on LSJ. So it's going to be Devontae Smith and Chase Claypool. I think both get in the end zone today, but I like Devontae Smith. I think he has a higher ceiling for sure. Bryce Floyd says Deontay Johnson, Phillip Lindsay, or Zach Moss, pick one. I guess it's Deontay Johnson, but he says they're not great options, so maybe it's David Johnson. If it's David Johnson, I'll go ahead and I'll take Jalen Reagor. I'll roll the dice there. I don't trust any of those players at all. Definitely, it would probably typically be Moss, but he plays the Steelers defense. I don't want any part of that. So go ahead and give me Jalen Reagor if it's David Johnson. But if it's Deontay, obviously, I think that's an automatic lineup lock right there. Jeremy Lewis, Miles Sanders in the flex. I assume it's Miles Sanders and not Myles Gaskin. Miles Sanders in the flex, or Jamar Chase, or Devontae Smith. I'll go Devontae Smith over Miles Sanders. Even if it's Myles Gaskin, I'm going Devontae. Give me Devontae Smith. Give me all the Devontae Smith. David Martinez, Tyler Higbee, or Jonnu Smith. I will go with I'll go with Tyler Higbee. I don't really like either one of those guys that much this year. I like Hunter Henry for the remainder of the year over Jonnu Smith. But I think Tyler Higbee, to me, I think it's going to be a better look. If you're for some reason you're having to start Mac Jones, I guess I would go Jonnu Smith to get the stack. If you're starting Matthew Stafford, definitely go Tyler Higbee. But if you're not starting either one of them, I would go with Tyler Higbee. Tyler Higbee, to me, is going to be the best one for you there. Let's see. Julio Jones, Devontae Smith, or Tyler Boyd. I will go with Julio Jones, Devontae Smith, Tyler Boyd in that order. That's where I'll go. But I won't blame you if you want to sit Julio Jones for Devontae Smith. But, look, it's Julio. I can't, and he does have a good matchup. I guess I'll go Julio over Devontae Smith. Michael Clark, one of my good buddies, says, thoughts on the impact Danny Amendola has this week. I do not think Danny Amendola has any impact this week. I don't think he has any impact this week. I think his days of having an impact in fantasy at all are long gone. So Danny Amendola, I don't think you can safely cut him depending on your league size and format and all that. But even in the deepest of leagues, I don't even know if Danny Amendola is worth a roster spot. Terry Allen Beard. Hopefully I said that right, Terry. I apologize for that. Terry Allen Beard, Tyson Williams, James Robinson, Chase Claypool, all good options, but I'm going with Tyson Williams. Again, playing one of the weakest run defenses in the league tomorrow night. He's going to be the bell cow. Latavius Murray's not ready. Le'Veon Bell's not ready. They've already said he's likely to get the majority of the touches. The Ravens are going to give him every single opportunity to be the guy this year. Tyson has juice. 6 foot, 228-pound running back. He's got a 78th percentile speed score. This guy can move for his size. He's athletic for his size. Tyson Williams is a guy I think that you're going to be glad you listened to me on the RotoBros podcast and you picked him up. Tyson Williams for me, no questions asked. Chase Claypool or Jerry Jeudy. I like both this week, but I'll go with Chase Claypool a little bit more. In the flex, Damian Harris or Devontae Smith. I'll take Devontae Smith. I think that the New England backfield is going to be a big problem. Look, there's not really anybody that's a bigger Damian Harris fan outside of the state of Alabama and the New England Northeast than I am. I've been preaching Damian Harris for a couple years now, even when a lot of people doubted him. Damian Harris is a really good football player. The problem is not with Damian Harris, it's the fact that they've got Ramondre Stevenson there, who is the reason Sony Michel is in L.A. now. Bill liked what he saw out of Ramondre Stevenson. We all did in the preseason, so he felt comfortable getting rid of Sony Michel. J.J. Taylor's there as well. James White is still going to be the guy catching passes there, so that in and of itself caps the upside that Damian Harris gives you in PPR leagues. So look, I like Damian Harris, but I don't want him as any more than my RB4 on my team, to be quite honest with you. So Devontae Smith, to me, in a runaway, that's pretty much every single week, in my opinion. Brandon Ayuk or a lot of Devontae Smith questions, guys. A lot of Devontae Smith, hey, I'm not complaining. I love me some Dev. Love me some Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith over Brandon Ayuk for me this week. Let's see. Randy Sturm, Gage or Callaway? Gage or Callaway? That's a good question. 9 out of 10 times this year, I think it's going to end up being Marquez Callaway, at least until Michael Thomas gets back healthy. But Gage plays the Eagles' defense, and he's going to be one-on-one a lot with Pitts and Ridley on the field. Like, Gage should have some good – he's got a good matchup from a defensive outlook standpoint. But one-on-one, from a one-on-one standpoint, he should also have a pretty good game. So I think he's going to get a lot more targets than I think a lot of people would think. I'm gonna go with Russell Gage this week only because I think Jair Alexander is probably going to be blanketing Marquez Callaway today, and I'm not crazy about that matchup at all. So I'm going to go with the easier matchup. I'm going to go Russell Gage, the guy that should catch more passes and has a better matchup. Michael Clark says, "Why not wear your Pitts jersey today?" Oh, it's the Pitts jersey's going to come. The Pitts jersey's coming right after the show. Throwing it on, going to Kevin's house to watch Red Zone on the projector. So can't wait to hear Scott Hansen's voice. Ryan McCauley, Kenny Galladay, or OBJ in PPR. I don't like either of these guys this week, Ryan. I don't. However, I dislike Galladay more because of the matchup with Denver's defense. I don't want any part of that this week. Kenny Galladay's first game as a New York Giant, I just not in that. If he's playing the Eagles or the Falcons or something like that, okay, that's different. Go ahead and give me OBJ. I think OBJ is going to play. I think he's going to be fine. I'm just with earlier questions with OBJ, I'm just being kind of cautious. But this one right here, I got to go OBJ here. Kenny Facello, is it crazy to bench A-Rob for Chark with Ramsey covering A-Rob all day? I want to talk about this. This is important because a lot of you are going to have Allen Robinson in your lineups. Listen to me here. For the rest of the year, you are going to start Allen Robinson. This week, you should probably bench his ass. And I'm going to tell you why. Allen Robinson has Andy Dalton throwing him the football. Allen Robinson has Andy Dalton throwing him the football while being chased by Aaron Donald. Allen Robinson has Andy Dalton throwing him the football while being chased by Aaron Donald while being blanketed by Jalen Ramsey. Does that sound like a delightful recipe for success? It does not. Allen Robinson is a great bench candidate this week. Now, look, if you're asking me, Allen Robinson or Marvin Jones or like Laviska Shenault, I'm probably going to go. I may go Marvin Jones just because of the matchup. But like if it's a Laviska Shenault or Allen Robinson, I'm taking Allen Robinson. I'll take the talent there. But you should not be expecting anything good from Allen Robinson to come out of tonight's game. You should not. So, no, it is not crazy, Kenny, to bench A-Rob for Chark, and it's exactly what I would be doing. The matchup for Chark is too juicy. They're probably going to be chucking the ball down the field. Trevor Lawrence is a better quarterback than Andy Dalton already. Like, there's nothing. Allen Robinson only has talent over DJ Chark. That's all he's got this week. So bench Allen Robinson for Chark this week. Allen Robinson is an automatic start, the most disrespected and underrated wide receiver in the NFL. He is a automatic start every single week the rest of the year. But this week, absolutely not. Jerry Jeudy, Deontay Johnson, Michael Pittman Jr. Pick two. I will go with Deontay Johnson. I'll go with Michael Pittman Jr. What's your take on Barkley? Barkley is a risky play because Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport today, guys, they did say this morning on SportsCenter just about an hour ago that the Giants are expected to limit Saquon Barkley's workload this week because, number one, they're playing against the Denver Broncos defense. That's not a good matchup, even if he was healthy. Number two, it's his first game off an ACL tear from last year, and he hasn't played football in like 11 months. Number three is the fact that they have an early week this week, so they play again on Thursday night. So they don't want to make him go full go against the Broncos defense and then full go again on Thursday. So I think it sounds to me, and this is what they were reporting this morning, that they are expected to limit his touches today. Limiting his touches against a bad defense coming off an injury, or against a good defense coming off an injury, not really a recipe for success. So I'm not benching Barkley across the board, but I am benching him for guys like maybe Tyson Williams or, I don't know who you have instead, but it just depends on who you have instead. So, no, Barkley is not an automatic start this week. I'm sorry to tell you. John Carbo, flex. Josh Jacobs or Elijah Moore. Jamison Crowder is out this week, which means Elijah Moore, who I think is a top 3 talent at wide receiver in this draft, is going to get all the slot snaps this week. All of them. Like, Elijah Moore's the guy. He should be seeing some volume. I don't know how good the matchup is. I think I'm going to roll the dice with Josh Jacobs. You guys know I love Kenyon Drake. Kenyon Drake to me was the best value at running back in your drafts this year. I think he's going to be great, and I wouldn't surprise me if he beats out Josh Jacobs to be the guy this year. And I think he's going to have a better fantasy season in totality than Josh Jacobs. I don't blame you if you go Elijah Moore. I think they're about the same when it comes to how good of a play they are, but I'll go with Josh Jacobs. Kenny Vasello, Mike Davis, or David Montgomery. I will actually go with David Montgomery. No, you know what? No. I'll go with Mike Davis. It's going to be David Montgomery the rest of the year, I think, especially when Justin Fields is in the game. But go ahead and give me Mike Davis. Devontae Smith or Paris Campbell, says Luke Arnaud. Oh, God, it's Devontae Smith. I'm not even owning Paris Campbell. Paris Campbell's not, again, him and Laviska Shenault are not going to be guys that you can rely on week to week in fantasy. They're just not. They're not going to get that volume. And so, anyway, for that reason, and for the reason that Devontae Smith is much more talented, give me Devontae Smith. Noah McKay, PPR, tight end premium, Myles Gaskin or Noah Fant. I'm going to go with Myles Gaskin. Myles Gaskin's going to score you points in 2 different ways. Noah Fant does have a good matchup. However, he's competing for targets with Jerry Jeudy, with Courtland Sutton, who's now healthy. Javonte Williams is going to be in the mix. Melvin Gordon. They're going to be. Look, he's got a lot of competition for targets. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to go with Myles Gaskin. I'm not crazy about either one of them, but I'll take Myles Gaskin there this week. Higgins or Rager, says Steve Vitko. I will go with the talent there. I don't care about the Atlanta defense when it comes to Jalen Rager. I will go with T. Higgins every single week. Every single week over Jalen Rager. Jacoby Myers, Jalen Rager, or Darnell Mooney for the flex. Not a bad question, but I'm not in on Darnell Mooney until Justin Fields comes back. Even then, he's not going to be a factory for high volume. Jacoby Myers will be. Jalen Rager probably will not be either. So for me, I'm going to go Jacoby Myers based on the fact that it is PPR. Jacoby Myers should see the most targets out of the 3 and probably the most receptions as well. All right, let's see. Robbie Anderson, Marquez Callaway, David Montgomery, Chris Carson, Miles Sanders, start 3. I will go with Chris Carson, Miles Sanders. Oh, this last one. That's a good one. Typically, it would probably be Robbie Anderson, but here's the thing with Robbie Anderson. I think a lot of people are going to overvalue Robbie Anderson this week and this year. Robbie Anderson has a good matchup. I get that, okay? But the bottom line is Terrace Marshall's in town now. Dan Arnold's in town now. Those are 2 guys that are going to be running routes with DJ Moore and with Robbie Anderson. Christian McCaffrey's back. That's another guy that you can't ignore for targets. So there's a lot more people now in this offense competing for targets with Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore for that matter. Terrace Marshall is a volume hog. He is an alpha. He is the alpha archetype. He is a better receiver than Robbie Anderson. I'm not big on Robbie Anderson this week or this year, so I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to go with Marquez Callaway. Give me Miles, give me Chris Carson, and give me Marquez Callaway. My buddy Aaron says, OBJ or Juju Smith-Schuster? OBJ or Juju Smith-Schuster? I will go with Juju. I think you can rely on him more. I think the quarterback situation is better. Look, we're not worried about Juju's limited snaps. I understand he's sharing targets with now Najee, of course, but he's also got Freiermuth Claypool and Deontay. But look, Juju's just always been a guy that you can pretty much rely on for the most part. It's typically, I think the answer is going to be OBJ more often than not. But look, he is coming off injury. We don't know how often he's going to play. So we'll see. We will see, all of that. I think I'm going to sit OBJ in week 1 for the most part, depending on, who my options are. But if my option is Juju Smith-Schuster, I'm going to go Juju, and I'm going to hope for, a deep ball. I think you probably have a better chance for a deep ball with Juju than you would for with OBJ. And I think the league you're asking about this, and we're in it together, I believe. So obviously the scoring system would favor a very long touchdown. Matt Bright, Pittman or Devontae Smith. I like both this week, but I'm going to go Devontae Smith. I think the ceiling is higher. Pittman should see more targets, probably more volume overall, but Smith has the game-breaking speed. He has and look, Pittman's fast too for his size, but Devontae Smith is a burner. Devontae Smith should have no trouble getting behind the Falcons' defense, and I think Devontae Smith is going to be your best option there. Troutman or Dan Arnold. Look, Adam Troutman was like this this hero. Where did that go? I just lost there it is. Adam Troutman was like this summer hero. Everybody was in love with Adam Troutman. The problem is Juwan Johnson's there. Juwan Johnson is the tight end, converted wide receiver, kind of like Darren Waller, who is playing this pass catching role for at tight end for the Saints. At least that's what he was doing in preseason. So if that's any indication, that tells me Adam Troutman is not in line to be the main pass catcher at tight end. So I guess I'll go with Dan Arnold. I mean, you don't really know if it looks like Troutman's going to be the blocking tight end. I would hope that you have another option at tight end than those two, because I don't think Dan Arnold's going to have a lot of volume either, competing with targets for a whole lot of people who should be in front of him on the target totem pole. But I guess I'll go with Dan Arnold there. Dan Masterman, rank these 3 in order PPR. Judy, Pittman, or Devontae Smith. I'll go Devontae Smith, Michael Pittman Jr., and Jerry Judy. Just complete reverse order of what you gave him to me. Devontae Smith for sure. Danny Barticle says Hunt, Pittman, or Tyson Williams. It's going to be Tyson Williams for me. Tyson Williams, Kareem Hunt, Michael Pittman in that order. They're all 3, I think, good plays this week, but I will go with Tyson Williams for sure. Bell cow. He's going to get the majority of the work tomorrow night. They're going to give him every single opportunity to be the guy here. So Tyson Williams for me is going to be the guy that you want on your team here. Let's see. Gesicki, Jonnu Smith, or Adam Humphries, or OBJ. Boy, that's a tough one. I'll go with OBJ, and I'll go with Mike Gesicki. That's where I'll go. I'll just take the 2 best talents overall out of those 4 guys. Let's see. Tyrod, Goff, have to start one. Boy, that's terrible. Tyrod or Goff. I'll go with Jared Goff. I'll take Jared Goff just for the hell of it. Neither one's a great play in my opinion. Even though Tyrod has the better matchup defensively, I'm still going to go with Jared Goff. Bryce Floyd, Kupp, Judy Callaway, PPR pick 1. I will go with Cooper Kupp. I'll go with Cooper Kupp every single week over these 2 guys. Cooper Kupp is going to be an excellent fantasy player. To me, Bryce, he is an automatic lock for your lineup every single week. Sutton or Chenault PPR. This one's easy. It's Cortland Sutton by a mile. David Montgomery or Jerry Judy in PPR. I will go with Jerry Judy this week. Brandon McLemore, we playing Tyson over Claypool, Corey Davis, and Jerry Judy? Yes. The answer is yes. Tyson Williams, going to be the bell cow this week, tomorrow night. He is going to be the guy that you want to have in your lineup. Tyson Williams, I think, is going to have a really good game. I think he's going to have a really good season. Jeremy Lewis, who is going to back up CMC? It's not going to be Royce Freeman. It should be Chuba Hubbard. It should be Chuba Hubbard. Look, Chuba Hubbard's value went down a little bit when Royce isn't any good, but they're probably going to, if Christian McCaffrey were to go down, it's probably going to be a split backfield now, whereas Chuba would have been a league-winning player that gets the majority of the workload, like a Tony Pollard if Zeke went down, or an Alex Madison if Dalvin Cook went down. That was in Chuba's range of outcomes previously. Now with Royce, they're probably going to be both involved. So that's kind of what you got with Chuba there. So You may even have better options on your waiver wire as well. Matt Bright says Pittman Jr. or Tyler Boyd. I will go with Michael Pittman, but it is close. I like both this week, but it is close. I will go with Michael Pittman. Daniel Sizemore, Mike Williams, BMW, DJ Chark, or Kareem Hunt. I'll go with DJ Chark, Kareem Hunt, Mike Williams in that order. Allen Robinson or Michael Pittman Jr. This is one of those situations where you are going to go with Michael Pittman. You're going to bench Allen Robinson. Pittman has the better matchup. Carson Wentz is back. T.Y. Hilton's out. He's going to get the volume. Look, again, for anybody else that has Allen Robinson questions coming up, Allen Robinson has Andy Dalton throwing the football. Andy Dalton is going to be getting chased by Aaron Donald, and Andy Dalton is going to try to get the football while being chased by Aaron Donald to Allen Robinson with Jalen Ramsey blanketing him. That is not a recipe for success. That does not sound delightful to me at all. Allen Robinson is a bench candidate this week, and you're benching him for Michael Pittman Jr. Pittman versus the Seahawks, Marvin Jones versus the Texans. It's going to be Pittman for me. Michael Dawson, Sutton, or Chenault. Going to be Sutton for me. Michael Figueroa, Tyson, or CMC or Tyson? Christian McCaffrey. Unless I'm misunderstanding that question, it's Christian McCaffrey. Gary Shockley says Kyle Pitts or Darren Waller in a PPR 16-team league. Oh, boy. Listen, you can't bench Darren Waller. You know what you're getting. You've got multiple seasons of proof. You know what he's going to do. Kyle Pitts, there's going to be 3 positional advantage at tight end this year. Maybe 4 with Hawkinson, but there's definitely going to be 3 in my opinion. Travis Kelce, Darren Waller, and Kyle Pitts. But you can't bench Darren Waller for Kyle Pitts. You just can't. Not yet. You got to give it some time. But in a 16-team league, man, congrats for getting both of them. Because you just, essentially, I think you're going to end up, at the end of the season, you're going to have 2 wide receiver ones at the tight end position. So, I think both are great plays. Kyle Pitts is a great play today. An excellent play in fantasy. But you cannot bench Darren Waller. Okay, so real quick, just coming across the wire, Adam Schefter just tweeted that Trey Sermon and Zach Moss are inactive today. Trey Sermon and Zach Moss are inactive. I don't know why. Obviously, I'm doing the show, so I can't tell you. But check that news out because Sermon and Zach Moss are going to be out. They're going to be inactive. So keep that in mind. It's kind of strange that Trey Sermon's going to be inactive. I don't know why. That's kind of upsetting because I'm a Trey Sermon OG. But Trey Sermon and Zach Moss are going to be inactive today. So make your lineups, change your lineups accordingly. DK Metcalf, Julio, Robbie Anderson. Well, you're never benching DK Metcalf, and you're pretty much not going to bench Julio ever for Robbie Anderson. So that makes it easy. Nick says DJ Chark or Tyler Boyd. Give me Tyler Boyd this week, just because I think he's going to catch more passes. Let's see here. Bradley Noah, this is the dopest pregame fantasy show on earth. God, I really appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. You guys are wonderful. I love you guys. Let's see. Blair Felino says Ryan Fitzpatrick or Matty Ice. I don't think really either one of them are bad plays this week, but Ryan Fitzmagic, he has easily the worst matchup. You're going to go with Matt Ryan. This could be a shootout game. You're going to go with Matt Ryan for sure over Ryan Fitzpatrick. You're probably going to do that the majority of weeks anyway, but definitely Matt Ryan this week. In the flex, DeAndre Swift, Kareem Hunt, or Corey Davis. Go ahead and give me DeAndre Swift over Kareem Hunt. I'm not even worried about Corey Davis there. Go ahead and give me DeAndre Swift over Kareem Hunt. Both of them are, I think, good plays, but I'm going to go with DeAndre Swift there for sure. Justin Herbert, Ryan Tannehill, or Kirk Cousins. I will go with Kirk Cousins, Ryan Tannehill, and Justin Herbert in that order. Herbert, I don't want any part of that matchup this week. Best front seven in the NFL he's going up against, arguably. I'm going to go with Kirk Cousins for sure there. Blair again says Juju or Debo. I will go with Debo over Juju. Let's see. DJ Moore, A-Rob, or Cooper Kupp. I will go with Cooper Kupp. Typically, it's going to be A-Rob, but Cooper Kupp, I am playing him over Allen Robinson this week as well. Clinton Garrett, David Montgomery, or Tyson Williams. It's going to be Tyson Williams for me. Jason Van Hughes, wide receiver 3. Mike Williams, Nico Collins, Darnell Mooney. Give me Nico Collins, baby. Give me Nico Collins. My guy. Nico Collins. I love me some Nico Collins. This guy is Kenny Golladay reincarnated. He's just as fast, just as physical, just as big. His tape, he looks identical to Kenny Golladay. Nico Collins should be the starter across from Brandon Cooks, so he should have plenty of volume. Nico Collins is a great talent, guys, and he's getting overlooked because he plays for Houston. Nico Collins is going to be your choice, Jason. Daniel Datley, what do you think of Singletary now that Zach Moss is inactive? He's not injured, just inactive. Listen, we know we've read the book on Devin Singletary. You are not starting Devin Singletary. I don't give a damn what your options are. You ain't starting Devin Singletary. Steelers defense, no thanks. Devin Singletary, we've read the book on him. I don't need to read the book again. I already know the ending. He's just a guy. He's not a talented football player. He's not. I don't care that Zach Moss, he doesn't have value even when Zach Moss is out. He never has. Devin Singletary isn't any good. We know that. So, and I'm not yelling at you, Daniel. It fires me up. No, you are not going to, just trying to drive home the point. Do not trust Devin Singletary. Let's see. Bryce Floyd says, I definitely recommend signing up for the RotoBros Patreon and definitely join the RotoBros Fantasy Lounge. That's what I talk about all the time. You see it scrolling across the bottom, guys. Like Chris said, the highest IQ fantasy community on the planet. He's not lying, I promise you. We cover it all season long in football, baseball, basketball, DFS, best ball. You want to win some money? We've got you there. Guys, check it out. Patreon.com/RotoBros. You will not regret it. It is the best decision from a fantasy perspective you will ever make in your life. Well, the second best decision. The best decision is going to be starting Tyson Williams this week. The second one is going to be joining the RotoBros Fantasy Advice Lounge. Patreon.com/RotoBros. First 2 months are free, and it's only $2. It's only $2. First 2 months are free. Check that out. By the way, Austin Eckler is officially active today, and he is going to be full go. They reported this morning he is a full go. Pick 2, Mixon, Sanders, or Tyson. Give me Mixon, give me Tyson. John Fay says DJ Moore or Edwards. Edwards-Hilaire. Sorry. Edwards-Hilaire is going to be the option for me. I'll go with Clyde. Jose Hernandez Jr., our wonderful graphics guy here. Sterling Shepard versus Denver, or Tyrell Williams versus San Francisco. I don't like either one of those, and it is highly likely that you have a better option available to you in free agency or on your bench in your league. So get with me privately, Jose, after the show, and you can tell me who's available. But yeah, neither. I can't choose. They're both terrible options, to be quite honest with you. But worst case, you're Tyrell Williams, I guess. Tyrell Williams, but you got to have a better option, I would imagine. Darnold or Carr at the Superflex spot. I will go with Sam Darnold. I'll go with Sam Darnold. Revenge game against the Jets. All these new weapons, I will go with Sam Darnold. Typically, it's going to be Derek Carr. I will go with Sam Darnold. Myles Gaskin, Mike Davis, or Javonte Williams for Denver. I think Javonte's going to have an excellent game this week. Javonte Williams and Mike Davis based on matchup and based on talent for Javonte Williams, because Javonte Williams is incredible. Josh Hendricks, Tyler Boyd, or Debo. I will go with, it's a tough one. I like them both. I'll go Debo. Sean Patrick, Devontae Smith, or Michael Pittman. I'll go with Devontae Smith. Jeff Stewart, Zach Moss, or Trey Sermon. Both are inactive. So neither of them. Let's see. Chase Edmonds, Kenny Golladay. I will go with Chase Edmonds there. Rager or Nico, says Bryce Floyd. I will go with Nico Collins. Robbie Anderson or T. Higgins. Give me T. Higgins. Michael Figueroa. I was rereading one that Michael already posted there. Tyson Flex. Tyson Williams, Javonte Williams, Higgins, or Boyd. I will go with Tyson, T. Higgins, Javonte, Tyler Boyd in that order. All four are good plays this week. Tyson's the only one that is an excellent play, I think, this week. Let's see. Manil Trivedi Sorry, Maniel. I kind of got tongue-tied there. Singletary or Mostert. Every single week it's going to be Raheem Mostert, even if Trey Sermon's on the field. I don't care if Zach Moss is out and Trey Sermon is in. You're still going to start Raheem Mostert over Devin Singletary. That's how bad Devin Singletary actually is. He's not a good play. And he's not a good option to trust. I don't even care if he gets a touchdown. If he scores from the 1-yard line this week, you still made the right decision on benching Devin Singletary, because odds are not in his favor that he's going to give you a good fantasy day. So don't trust it. Jacobs or Darrell Henderson? I will go with Darrell Henderson over Josh Jacobs, says 4PF Danny. That's from Twitter, it looks like. Dominic Hogan, Devontae Smith or Kareem Hunt? Give me Devontae Smith over Kareem Hunt. David Matura says, in another league, do you start Deontay Johnson or Jarvis Landry over A-Rob in non-PPR? I start them both over A-Rob this week and this week only. Moving forward, A-Rob is an automatic locked-in starter for me every single week. This week, with Andy Dalton throwing the football, with Andy Dalton getting chased by Aaron Donald, and while all that's going on, he's trying to get the football to Allen Robinson, who is getting blanketed by Jalen Ramsey. No, thank you. Are you sure Murray isn't going to be involved Monday night? Yes. I'm not saying he's not going to see the field at all. What I am saying is they have made it clear. Jamison Hensley, the Ravens beat writer, has made it perfectly clear that they are going to be giving Tyson Williams every opportunity, and a lot of opportunities Monday night, to seize this starting role and keep it throughout the season. So Murray is not a good start. Bell is not a good start. Freeman and Trenton Cannon aren't good starts. Tyson Williams is an excellent start. We'll see how he performs. If he's terrible, then Latavius Murray is going to be heavily involved moving forward. But if he's good, Tyson Williams is absolutely the guy to own in that backfield. Nick Folk or Quinn Norton? It looks they promoted. It's a kicker question. The Patriots promoted Nick Folk to the active roster, or from the practice squad. So I would imagine Nick Folk is probably going to get the start. But if you need a spot starter at kicker, look at Evan McPherson, the kicker for the Bengals. This is an offense that's going to be competitive. They're not going to be a great football team, I don't think. But they are going to be competitive, and I think their offense is going to be good enough to where they score a good bit this year. And not only that, but I think their offense is going to be good enough to where they get in field goal range a lot this season. So Evan McPherson could be a sneaky source of some good value when it comes to kicker production, if your league is still in the Stone Age starting kickers. Let's see. Jerry Jeudy or Darrell Henderson, says one user here. I will go with Darrell Henderson over Jerry. No. I'm sorry. I'm going to go with Jerry Jeudy. Sorry. Jerry Jeudy with that matchup. Teddy Bridgewater there. He's the volume receiver there. Go ahead and give me Jerry Jeudy over Darrell Henderson. Nick says, Winston or Stafford? Give me Matthew Stafford. That's every week. I'm taking Stafford every week. With Trey Sermon out now, do you flex Raheem Mostert or T. Higgins? Now I'm going to go with Raheem Mostert. Now I will go with Raheem Mostert because Raheem Mostert should be getting a bell cow workload today. Go ahead and give me Mostert over Higgins. It's close. I won't blame anybody if they go Higgins. Mostert's going to be the guy for me. Jason says PPR, Mooney, Campbell, or Ruggs. I don't like either one of those guys. I don't like any of them. I don't like Ruggs for this year. I don't like Campbell at all this year. I think you can cut Paris Campbell. And Darnell Mooney I don't really like until Justin Fields is there. So, I mean, I guess I'll say Henry Ruggs. I'll go with the ceiling play. I'll go with Henry Ruggs tomorrow night. James Robinson or Raheem Mostert in the flex? Raheem Mostert. I think James Robinson's going to be the option. He's going to be the answer the majority of the year. But Raheem Mostert right now I think is going to be your better play with Trey Sermon out. Rondale Moore, Jalen Waddle, or Anthony Ferguson need to replace Sermon. Let me make it clear. I think Waddle's a better receiver than Rondale Moore. I think he's going to be a better fantasy play and real-life player rest of the season and in real life. But this week, you can drop Anthony Ferguson. This week, Rondale Moore, to me, is going to have a good week. I think this could be a smash week for Rondale Moore. I will take Rondale Moore here, but that might be the only time this year where I take Rondale Moore over Jalen Waddle. Corey Davis or Marquez Callaway. Go ahead and give me Marquez Callaway. Who do you think will put up the most points of the day? God, the most points of the day. That's a good question. Obviously a non-quarterback, I would think. I don't know. I may have to. That's tough, Dominic. That's tough. I can't be put on the spot. I don't know. I'll have to answer that offline. I don't know. I got to think about that. That's a tough one. Let's see here. Flex, David Montgomery, Myles Gaskin, or Robert Woods. I will go Robert Woods, David Montgomery, Myles Gaskin in that order. Manil says Connor, Jamal Williams, J.D. McKissick, or Rashad Penny. James Conner. James, I don't even think you need to own Rashad Penny. You can forget about Rashad Penny. Yeah, give me James Conner. Washington football team or Patriots defense. I will go with. I got to go with the Washington football team's defense. That's too good. I'll go with the Washington football team's defense. Let's see. At the Wetness on Twitter, rank these guys today if you would. Mostert, Higgins, Eckler, Tyson. Well, obviously Austin Eckler has overall RB1 in his range of outcomes. So Eckler, you're never benching Austin Eckler. He is literally matchup proof with the way that with his play style and the way that he's used. So Austin Eckler, number 1. Tyson Williams this week, number 2. T. Higgins, and then Mostert would be 4. But Mostert's a close 4 to Higgins. I would not blame anybody if they took Mostert over Higgins. Well, you know what? As a matter of fact, I think I might take Mostert over Higgins. I think I would, actually. I would go Mostert over Higgins, just barely. It's close, though. They're all 4 good options, obviously. But yeah, Austin and Tyson are going to be the top 2, and then I'll put Raheem and then at 3 with T at 4. David Webb, with Moss out, does that move Singletary up to a flex? Absolutely not. Playing against the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, I don't want anything to do with David Singletary if he's playing the Falcons defense. And even Matt Ryan agrees. If I can get him to shake his head instead of... Yeah. Anyway, he says no. So yeah, we're gonna go no. That's a big no. Stay away from the time bomb that is Devin Singletary. 1 point PPR: Corey Davis, Shenault, or Juju. I will put them in order for you. I'm gonna go Juju, Corey Davis, Laviska Shenault. I don't like Laviska Shenault at all. Juju, Corey Davis, Laviska Shenault in that order. And last question: Tyson Williams or Mike Davis? It's Tyson Williams, baby. I love that. That's how we're getting the show. Tyson Williams is the start of the week. The start, not the highest scoring player, but the start of the week. You're going to be thrilled you had him in your lineup tomorrow night. He's going to be a bell cow tomorrow night. I love Tyson Williams to have a big week tomorrow night against the Raiders. Again, guys, real quick, I just want to let you know, please join the RotoBros Fantasy Football Fantasy Advice Lounge by going to patreon.com/RotoBros. We have a $2 tier, a $5 tier, silver and gold. Both tiers get you access into the Fantasy Lounge, and you will not regret it. I promise you that. And guess what? It's only $2, and the first 2 months are free. Patreon.com/RotoBros. It's scrolling across the bottom of your screen. Check it out. The best, highest IQ fantasy community on the planet. That's where you're going to get all your trade advice, your waiver advice, your start sit advice, and everything. Even if you play DFS, you want to win some money, come win some money with us. We got it all. Guys, thank you so much. Week 1 of RotoBros Live starts this Sunday. It's in the books, but week 1's not in the books yet. You guys enjoy the games. I am out.